Hello, children. Good morning. How are you? Okay, today's our topic, the Tiger King, and this is my second video on this chapter. In the previous video, I have told you about the writer of the chapter. I introduced you the whole story of the Tiger King, and I also we discussed on why people like hunting, or why do people kill animals. Dear children, in this video I would like to tell you summary of the chapter, because a summary in detail yesterday it was just briefed. So the main hero of our chapter is the Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram, and look at his name, the Maharaja Sir Jilani Jang Bahadur. Now one question arises, why the kings used to adopt such a big name? The reason was that it was a matter of great respect and honor for them to add more names and surnames in front of their own real name. So they used to have such titles with their names. So the Maharaja Sir Jilani Jang Bahadur was called the Tiger King, and the reason is, when he was just 10 days old, he asked intelligent questions to the astrologer and was told that he would be killed by a tiger. Here once again I would like to tell you that that the chapter is a mock, means the writer of the chapter try to try to laugh at on the lifestyle of the kings, and the he is just trying to laugh at the vanity and just their arrogance and proud of the king. So it was, or it is understood that, or considered that, the kings are born intelligent. That's why the writer is saying that he was only 10 days old and he started asking intelligent questions to the astrologer and was told that he would be killed by a tiger. So it was a prophecy made by one astrologer that the king's life would be ended by a tiger. And he uttered, "Let tigers beware." He was so believed in his power that he immediately thundered or shouted these words, "Then if my death would be caused by tigers, then the tigers should remain aware." No other miracle took place. The child grew like any other royal child, drinking white cow's milk. And this is how the rich people used to be brought up in old days, when our country was being ruled by Britishers. And the story is of that time also. He was taught by an English tutor, and English tutors used to come to teach this prince at his home, and looked after by an English nanny, and even the caretaker were the English women. He watched English films. When he was 20, he was crowned as a king. It was then the prediction of his death by the tiger reached the Maharaja's ear, and he, in turn, to safeguard himself, killed a tiger. And being thrilled, he told the astrologer, who replied that he can kill 99 tigers, but should be careful with the 100th. So when the prince was a little child, the prediction was made by the astrologers. But when this child became king, and he was crowned, he became young, and later on somebody told him that such and such prediction has been made about your life. So he told the astrologer that he would kill all the tigers. But astrologer said that Maharaja, you can kill 99 tigers, but the 100th tiger would definitely end your life. So he placed that all other affairs of the state would be attended after killing the 100 tigers. Then he started killing tigers. None except Maharaja was allowed to hunt tigers. A high ranking British officer visited the state that was found of hunting tigers, and uh, his wish was declined. One proposal, actually, at that time, killing tigers and lions was a great passion for kings and even for the Britishers. So British officers come, but he was declined. The officer requested for getting a photograph with the tiger, and it was a matter of great prestige. Even if you now visit some old museums, you will find some pictures hanging on the walls, and many people you will find standing, and in front of them you would find corpse of lions or tigers lying on the ground dead. So the officer requested for getting a photograph with a tiger killed by Maharaja. Even the officer requested the Maharaja that the hunting or the killing can be done by Maharaja. They just wanted to get photograph of with the dead tiger. But even this request was rejected. So to please the officers, why he sent 50 diamond rings, expecting that she would get one or two. Instead, she kept all the rings costing 3 lakh rupees and sent thanks to the Maharaja. So, actually, in British time, or in that period of time, Maharajas, they had nothing much concern about the poor people of the country. Their main aim or motto was to please the British or Britishers or the company, East India Company. So the Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram sent many rings, diamond rings, 50 diamond rings, I'm sorry, and he thought that Maharani, or the wife of the officer would keep hardly one or two, and rest of them would be sent back. But it did not happen. She kept all the rings, and in return she said only thank you. But his state was secured. But the king was happy that at least his state is safe and secure by giving gifts to the wife of the East India Company's highest officer. In 10 years, he killed 70 tigers and did not find any in the Pratibandhapuram. So he decided to marry a girl from royal state which had more tigers to complete his target. See, the Maharaja is very clever and intelligent, because now there were no more tigers in his state. So he decided to marry a girl of a state which has tigers in her province or in her area. Whenever he visited his in-laws, he killed 5-6 tigers, and in this way he killed 99 tigers and was feverishly anxious to kill the 100th tiger, but could not find. Now news about the presence of tiger near a village proved disappointing. Someone said that there is a village nearby the palace, and a tiger has been spotted. But later on the news was found to be false, and he asked his diwan, you can say the mantri or the chief courtier of the court, to find the tiger, otherwise face his anger. Now the diwan was afraid of losing his job, so he visited People's Park in Madras and brought an old tiger. This is actually a mock once again, because he was threatened or warned that if he did not get any unable to find any tiger, he may lose his job. So the old diwan went to a park in Madras and requested to give him an old tiger, and placed it in the forest and informed the Maharaja. The Maharaja took great care and shot the tiger and left the place with great triumph. The bullet did not hit the tiger. Unfortunately, the bullet missed the tiger, but out of fear, the tiger had collapsed because the tiger was old, and he died because of the sound of the bullet, and he died because of the heart failure. But the king thought that he has killed all 100 tigers, and now his life was saved. Now the staff killed the tiger and brought it in grand procession. But the people who were attending, or the king at the time, they thought that the tiger is still alive. So instead of informing the king about the death of the tiger, they themselves shot the tiger and brought the dead body, uh, because they wanted to buy a present from the. I'm sorry. It was the third birthday of the Maharaja's son. Now everything got settled. People forgot all about the prophecy. And now it was the third birthday of the Maharaja's son, and he wanted to buy a present from the toy shop. So he bought a wooden tiger which was poorly carved, means not beautifully shaped, while the king bought a wooden tiger which was poorly carved. While the Maharaja was playing with the prince, a tiny silver of the wooden tiger pierced his uh, right hand, which later on caused his death. Thus, the 100th tiger takes his final revenge upon the king. So, beautiful story, and please go in the story, or please read the text line by line. You will definitely enjoy this poem. In the next slide, we will discuss the question answer of this. Thank you for patient hearing. Thanks.